Ladies, I don't want you to get left behind in the Bitcoin revolution. There's so much going on out there. We've heard so much bad news for the last 4 years, but there's been this undercurrent of good news, and I feel like women are missing out on it. So I have been leading a mastermind for 4 years where I've taught for 90 minutes every Wednesday night, and I put in like 20 to 40 hours of research every single week because it became obvious to me in March of 2020 when global economies got shut down and our government printed $7 trillion and dumped it into our economy. It became really clear to me that we needed to do something different and something much more interesting and much more high potential. And so I started getting involved in Bitcoin. And as I would look around, or I'd listen to podcasts or a Bitcoin conference, they're going on all over the world. They're going on in the US. There's celebrities involved. There's Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank. There's Michael Saylor, the head of a public company who was the longest running public company CEO. Michael Saylor stepped out of his role after 24 years. He was the longest running public company CEO. And he full time goes out and educates people on Bitcoin. But I'd see these people on the stage at the conferences, and it's like eight dudes, and you're lucky if there was one woman. And so I think that women have historically, not to gender stereotype, but historically, they've taken responsibility for the family's health. And it was so many women who were coming to me concerned about everything that was going on in 2020 and 2021. But for whatever reason, I've been responsible for my family's financial health as well. And I just want you ladies to know that you're frustrated with centralized medicine. We should be just as concerned with centralized finance. And Bitcoin allowed us to step outside the tyranny of central banks. Okay, maybe you didn't know much about banks. You just assumed whatever bank you put your money in was safe. I've had to learn more about banks than I ever wanted to, but I have because it became really obvious in March of 2020 that a whole lot about our reality was going to change. So I want to invite you to come to the mastermind. Like everything I do, it tends to be more women than men. So it's on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you can't come, whatever time zone you're in, that's okay. We record it for you as a member. And if you look at the link below, we've got a free third month for you. Plus, as someone who follows me online, you can get $50 extra off by using the coupon code Robyn. Okay, all caps Robyn with a Y. Okay, my name is spelled Robyn. And it's time to start learning. Okay, because there's a lot to learn. You can't just like throw some money at a Bitcoin ETF and call it good. You have to understand the asset that you have, and you have to understand the different options you have in how to custody it, because you can custody it outside of a bank. So there's no single point of failure. There's no institution that could go under. Remember in 2022, we had four big banks fail. And sure, the federal government stepped in and bailed them out, but they also ran down their ability to be able to bail banks out. So they did some creative things to keep more banks from failing, but basically all of our banks are insolvent. Not only are they built on 50-year-old computer code and are actually going to be very easily hackable if there's quantum computing, like we're told is coming. Bitcoin is far, far more resilient to being hacked. They'd have to hack a 240,000 character wallet address. Plus, the Bitcoin miners could change to a different encryption that is resistant to quantum computing. Bitcoin's the least of our concerns if there's quantum computing. But I know that the jargon gets heady, And I know that most women, and actually most people who start listening to content about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain, get very quickly daunted by the vocabulary. But this is why I've been teaching Wednesday night classes, is that there's no dumb questions. Okay, ask a question that you think is dumb, and I promise you, nobody's going to make fun of you. It will just help us know, how beginner are you? Is this the first time you've thought about the macro economy? If so, that's okay. We love beginners. We love to help onboard people into the new generation of finance and money, because the dollar is failing. You guys, if you look back to 2020, think back to what things cost in 2020. Don't let the CPI, the government's consumer price index, be your indicator of inflation. You guys can look at the CPI and see that it's been manipulated. You know how much the cost of living has gone up. You know what it's done to your lifestyle. You know what it's done to your children's lifestyle, the 20-somethings lifestyle. They can barely pay their bills. They can barely keep a roof over their head, and sometimes they're not keeping a roof over their head. One of my children is a couple moving in with another couple, two couples living in a two-bedroom apartment. Okay, they're not doing this because they're lazy. They're not doing this because they're not working full time. They all are. So how do we get out of it? Here's how. You know what? If you're in dollars, your life's getting more expensive. If you're in Bitcoin, your life is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And I want to teach you why. And if you don't learn why, and all you do is you just go buy some random crypto because your brother-in-law's smart and that's the one that he gets, then you're not going to know what you have. You're not going to know how to custody it. You're not going to know the issues around it. You're not going to understand why the ground under your feet is moving. It is shifting. We have to understand why there's an earthquake under our feet so that we don't fear it and we embrace it and we capitalize on it. We have been the ones to do the right things by our family. We've put ourselves second. We've put our children first. This is another way that we can help our children. I want to teach you how I'm helping my children not lose hope. They will get ahead, but they have to recognize the opportunity here. And for us to help them recognize the opportunity, we have to help ourselves first, right? You can't help the person next to you on the plane unless you put your oxygen mask on first. So ladies, don't get left behind. We love the guys in our learning group, our mastermind too. We love them. And but you know what? The women are getting behind. They're not the leaders on the stage. And so I'm stepping forward to say, I'm going to talk to you like women talk to other women. Okay. Wherever you are on the learning path, we're here for you. So link down below, join the mastermind Wednesday night. Or if you're not ready to join the mastermind, here I am. I've got this new Robyn Openshaw Bitcoin channel. Just learn in little chunks. Okay. I'm not going to do the 2-hour interviews so much as just give you something to think about, to start considering whether it's time that you start learning about Bitcoin, because the dollar is failing fast due to money printing. And you know what? I voted Trump, you guys. I supported Trump. I certainly supported him over the other guy, but he's going to print money like you've never seen before. My prediction is he's going to print at least $20 trillion. Okay, you dump $20 trillion into this economy, your dollars that you've saved so responsibly your whole life, they're going to be worth less. Sure, maybe your assets go up in value, but do they go up in value enough to make up for the loss in purchasing power of your dollars? I mean, yeah, your house is worth more, but if you're able to sell it, you got to go buy another house that costs equally high prices. So how we can get ahead and how we can help our kids get ahead. And don't leave your husband out. He should come to class too, our Wednesday night classes. I have had several women tell me about how they learned about crypto, they invested, and their husband sold it out from under them right before Bitcoin went on a $36,000 upward tear. So I'm not saying hide it from the husbands. We want to see your husbands in class too, but also your children. Also, your millennial children, the 20 somethings, the 30 somethings. I think the oldest of our millennials are like 43, 44 right now. Don't let them be hopeless. Invite them to class and help them learn how they could be growing assets that have been growing faster the last 4 years than real estate prices have. And I think it's just getting started. It's just getting started because now countries and counties and cities and pension plans all over the world and public companies all over the world are coming into Bitcoin. It's going to take them a little bit more time. It's not like the CEO can just decide to do it and do it the next day. They have to get a bunch of people on board. They have to pass like certain accounting standards. So right now is the time to learn. Right now is the time to join the mastermind. You have a beautiful moment in history, so don't miss it. I will see you Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern in the mastermind. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.